I can't wait to show you my toys.
Hey everybody, this is D. Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to look at the NECA Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, Roy Burns action figure. And it's a new beginning because a different person took over as Jason just for this one film. I bet you guys never thought you'd get a figure of this guy. It's good NECA finally delivered. For years they've been very coy about answering questions about this. No, we don't have likeness rights. No, we can't make him. No, it's not in the pipeline. But you know what? They made it work somehow. So let's check out the packaging here. As you can see, Friday the 13th Part 5, New Beginning. Got the hockey mask on the front, the top. Friday the 13th Part 5. Side, pretty much same thing, except we got the guy up here. Other side, exactly the same thing. On the bottom, we do have a barcode in case anybody needs that, as well as a bunch of credits. And then on the back, you can see here he is using several of his accessories, just doing his thing, being an absolute killer. So this is one of NECA's ultimate action figures, which means it has a window packaging here with Velcro on the front. As you can see on the inside flap, here he is standing there looking menacing. You do not want to come against this guy. And then here he is in the package with a whole lot of accessories. I can see he's got an extra hand and a whole bunch of killing weapons. And we'll dig in a little deeper for those once we get him open. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, well now that we got this guy out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. And he does come with quite a bit, being one of NECA's ultimate releases. He has a very large sort of spear, spike type thing. He's got his machete, flare, some hedge clippers, a knife, sort of meat cleaver type thing, a little metal stake, an alternate hand. Then he's got a stick and sort of a leather strap that he used to kill somebody in the film. But before we look at all of the accessories, let's check out the actual figure. Now, I don't know about you, but the first thing I wanted to do when I got this guy was check out that Roy Burns head. Now, this is a sort of fake Jason. I think it looks great. The area around the head, sort of imitating that fake, I don't know, deformed head of their regular Jason. His face in the middle looks really good. I'd love to find another head to put on this guy that could sort of be Roy Burns without this extra thing on top. Overall, it looks very similar to the Michael Myers body, but we'll check that out later in the video. You can see he's got some damage here, some blood all over him. Pretty basic sort of worker's jumpsuit. Overall, this guy's looking pretty cool. I do like the mask. What appealed to me about this guy is that it's not actually Jason Voorhees, but sort of a fake Jason Voorhees, Roy Burns, who snapped and took his place in Part 5. And then here's the figure broken down as far as he can go with all of his removable parts detached. Now, even though it only comes with one head and one right hand, both those still pop off very easily, giving you the possibility of maybe finding a different head for Roy Burns. I'm sure going to look through my generic action figure collection and see if any of those heads scream Roy Burns to me. And his right hand comes off because it's probably the same mold as one of the previous Jason figures with a removable hand. So now let's take a look at his actual accessories. He does have the removable ski mask, the removable head, although he has no alternate head, a total of 3 hands, 2 left and 1 right, and then all the different weapons and tools he used to murder people in the film. They did a great job of going through the film and giving you almost everything he used. Now here he is wearing his ski mask. The detailing looks pretty good. It's got all the little holes in it. It's got his eyes can actually line up with the eye holes. You probably can't see it very well. Overall looking pretty good. The blue lines. And then we got these straps that connect to the back. And then here he is with his mask off, looking just as bizarre there. Roy Burns. What a guy. Next, let's check out his hands. These are the default hands he came with. His right hand being a gripping hand, able to hold a weapon, and his left hand being fairly open. This might be good if you're holding somebody down and stabbing them, possibly choking somebody. He does come with an alternate left hand, which can grip an item as well. And here he is with his alternate left hand. More than likely I'll keep these hands on him for the most part because he has so many accessories. Next, let's check out each of his killing accessories. So here he is holding his flare. This was the first accessory the NECA teased, and people knew it was Roy Burns. Smoke detail looks pretty good. Got some red, some gray, maybe a hint of blue in there. A lot of things I can use a road flare for in my action figure world. I believe in the film, he sort of shoved this in some guy's mouth. I think it was his first kill in the film. And then I'll show him killing a different victim with each of his killing accessories. Here he is trying to shove the flare at this guy. And then here he is holding his large metal spear. This thing is long, this thing is sharp. He can either hold it with one hand or with two hands like so. And this Roy Burns is sure not a good guy, is he? And here he is holding his knife. This thing's decent. It's got some blood on it. Beyond that, just a regular old knife. And then here he is putting that knife to use. Next, let's check out his machete. As you can see, here it is. Got blood stains on it. Handle here. A little bit of sculpt, a little bit of paint. Very common Jason Voorhees weapon, even though this is a fake Jason Voorhees. And then here he is holding his blood-stained machete like he's just done something horrific. And here he is getting ready to chop down Mr. Burke. And then here he is walking away looking for another victim. Next we've got these Hedge Trimmers right here. These guys are pretty cool. Once again, blood-stained. And they're actually articulated and functioning. That is really, really nice. And here he is holding the Hedge Trimmers, using both of his gripping hands. And then here he is taking out another victim. If I recall correctly, he used these Hedge Trimmers on the naked chick in the film. So next accessory to look at, sort of a little butcher's cleaver here. Once again, bloodstained, little hole at the top. It's got a handle with a little bit of paint. Overall, decent. And once again, here he goes. And then we've got this little spike here, or metal stake. As you can see, kind of looks like something that would keep a tent into the ground. And here he is offering to get the other eye as well. So next we've got this leather strap here, and it's got metal rings on either side. Then we also have a stick here. Believe it or not, this was a weapon he killed somebody with in the film. And in the film, he snuck up on a guy and he put this leather strap on his head around a tree, like so. Kinda like so. And then in the film, he could put the stick through the loops and just kept twisting it around until it got tighter and tighter and tighter and killed the guy. And then here he is, like a kid in a candy shop, getting his selection of any murdering weapon he would like to choose from. Now that we've taken a very good look at his accessories, next let's check out the height of this figure. So this guy here, from bottom to top, sitting at just about 7.5 inches tall. Next let's check out this guy's articulation. So of course his head here can go from side to side, and then it can look down that far and up that far, which is pretty good. Shoulders on a ball joint, not quite 90 degrees. They go up, down, around. He's got double jointed elbows. They've got a piece of plastic in between with a joint on the top and bottom. It's got a swivel on the top and a swivel on the bottom as well. Then you can see here's as high as it can go with both joints completely inside. His hand is sort of on like a ball joint. Can rotate from side to side and can kind of move around just a little bit. Seems to be a solid piece here. I don't feel any articulation. No, there is some kind of a little ball joint here with minimal range of motion. And he's got And it looks like nothing down there. His legs go out a full 90 degrees, no problem. There's a ball joint inside of here, and the legs themselves can move independently of the ball joint. And go forward about that far. Back, not at all. His knees here, single jointed, and they go back that far, and there's a swivel on the top. Feet here, up and down just a hair. Side to side a little bit, and they can rock and tilt as well. So next I wanted to look at reuse. In order to do this, I took out the two Michael Myers figures they've released, one from the 2018 Halloween and one from Halloween 2. So I found that the 2018 Halloween had the most in common with him. It looks like their shoes are a little bit different, but it looks like the pants are identical, this part as well as this part, and the torso is mostly identical. Some mild sculpt changes with the damage here, and the pocket is done ever so slightly different, as well as of course the collar. Then if you look at the arms, they're identical where the suit is. I found it mildly interesting they would go with this guy, but this guy here just got released, so of course they didn't want these two being released at the same time to look so similar. But you know what? I think it works out pretty good. Next, let's check him out compared with some other action figures, starting off with some of his Jason brothers. Here he is next to all the different Jason figures that I have in my collection. As you can see, we've got Jason from the first film before he had his traditional hockey mask look. And then we've got another Jason, just sort of the traditional Jason Voorhees from the original films. And then we've got Roy Burns as Jason. And then we've got Jason from the remake. These guys here, I felt like were all I really needed. We have the different looks from the original. We got Roy, then we got the remake. And here they are, all of them with their pretty ugly unmasked heads on. And here he is next to several various horror icons. I believe these are actually all made from NECA. From left to right, we've got Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs, Jigsaw, Michael Myers, Halloween, Roy Burns from Friday the 13th, Part 5, Freddy Krueger, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then both versions of Pennywise, It. And let's take those two experts from the Myers case, Laurie Strode and Dr. Loomis, to work with the police and see if they can take down this new Jason. Here he is next to a couple of hockey mask wearing figures in my collection. On the left here we've got Sportsmaster from Young Justice in my DC action figure world. And on the right we've got Rabbit Raider from Fortnite. I'd love to have a Casey Jones with his mask from the first Ninja Turtles movie. We'll see. And if you want to mix, or if you're curious how he fits in with other action figure lines, next we'll check him out with other action figure lines to see how he fits in both scale and style wise. Here he is next to some DST or Diamond Select Toys action figures. And here he is next to some McFarlane Toys action figures. And then here he is next to some of his NECA brothers from various NECA action figure lines. And here he is next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Here he is next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. Here he is next to some Mezco cloth soft goods action figures. And then here next to some Mafex action figures. And here he is next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends figures. And then here he is next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. So overall, I'm going to say this figure is quite enjoyable. I like him a lot. Part of what appeals to me about this guy is the fact that he's a different person posing as Jason. Over the years, NECA always said they couldn't make this figure, no likeness rights for Roy Burns, etc., etc., etc. They teased us, tricked us, and here it is. Very happy to add this to my collection. It is one of the better Jason figures they've made, as it's more recent, better quality control, articulation, whole lot of accessories. If I were to rate this figure, I'd go ahead and give him a 7.5 out of 10. He's a pretty nice guy. This is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.